All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel for yet again another delve into You Asked and I am going to answer. Let's go into this episode's question. Here we go. This one is from Xander Will. I think you have to work with what your location is giving you. If the sun is in a certain spot and you want to point the camera a certain way, sometimes you have to do the sandwich if you have limited equipment with you. Thank you, Xander Will. And why do I want to talk about this comment? Because it's wrong. Because it's terribly, terribly wrong. And I like to highlight when people are wrong. And I will bring attention to that wrongness so that we can stuff it down with hatred and bigotry. No, I'm only kidding. Okay. Why do I actually want to do this? Because I think this comment, the difference between agreeing with this comment and disagreeing with this comment is where you find yourself in your cinematography journey. What kind of person are you that makes images? There are lots of different people and there's lots of different styles that you can approach making images with. You can be someone who likes to go to a location and say, hey, this is the best angle here, and we're shooting in exactly 5 minutes from now. I see that the sun is also pointing an angle that doesn't really work for this specific look. I'm just going to have to deal with it. I might have to come up with some solution on the fly to do the best work that I can, but it's not going to be the absolute. I can't squeeze out of this location the best possible image that the location could provide. If the situation had been different, if there had been some other element that I had accounted for before, if we had been able to change that element or to work around it, the images would have come out better. That's one style. That's not the style that I like. The style that I like is, I don't care what we're shooting. I don't care what the message is. I don't care about any of those things. You know what I like? I like pictures. And I don't even really like pictures. The part that I like is trying to solve the puzzle of a specific location given certain restrictions, right? There are constraints. Like we can't do anything. We have to do whatever the story is the directors come up with and they've cooked up and whatever they think is important. That's what we have to film. Okay. Are there any other constraints? Well, yes, we're constrained by this is the day that we'll be there. And this is the time of day that we'll be shooting. Or this is the day that we'll be shooting of the week. Or this is the day in terms of weather that we'll be shooting. All of those things, constraints. So people from the outside are feeding constraints to the image maker. And then you, the image maker, go, despite all of those constraints, with all of that in the back of my mind, now I can start working to see what we can get. So if I was to show up to a location and I said, ooh, this is the best direction, but the sun is throwing us off, so we're going to have to sun sandwich this thing. That would be me. Mentally, I would be saying that out loud, going like, okay, so this is what we're going to have to do. I wouldn't suggest a sun sandwich ever. I would try and find some other way to negotiate things so that we didn't have to sun sandwich. That's just me. It's almost like a game to me. Like I had never wanted to sun sandwich my entire career. Not because aesthetically it's not pleasing to me. I mean, aesthetically, I don't like it. But more, the game is, what if I can get away with never doing it? Is that a thing? Because I've built up like this streak of consecutive jobs with no sandwiches. Can I just ride it till the end? Is it even possible? Can I find a way, if it ever does come up where I'm forced in a situation that I have to sun sandwich, can I get out of it? Because that's fun. You know what's not fun? It's just giving in to whatever. Like I have to set up some constraint for myself to then work around, because that working around is the bit that I like. So if I ever came to a situation where it's like, oh no, we have to sun sandwich, I would say out loud, okay, let's try and find a different solution. Internally, I would be saying, what a massive fuck up that I have just done. Like this is me not doing my job. Nobody else knows, right? We'll come up with some other solution. We'll just say it looks that good. But that's me being disappointed with myself because I haven't actually done the entire job of the cinematographer, or the part of the job that actually matters. If you have listened to the podcast, you know this is my mantra is your job as a cinematographer. It may look like it's there to be on set on the day to problem solve, like exactly where this question is going. It's like, well, you have to adapt to whatever the situation is on the day. No, wrong. You're wrong. At least you're wrong. I'm wrong. If I were to think that way, I would tell myself, well, you're wrong. The job is you should already be able to project out into the future all of the things that are going to negatively impact the vision that you want to bring to life. So I want to identify those things early on. The sooner I can identify them, the more likely it is that I am able to change them. And not even me. I mean, I am able to change them, but that I can tell the production because I want to work with a team of people, because the images that I like to make, I cannot do by myself. There are just too many elements that you have to control. And you say, well, you could go out and get images and not control that many things. You could. That's not the kind that I want to get. You can get whatever you want. I don't want those things. I want finely nuanced. I want to be able to control every single little aspect. Why? Because then I know I've eliminated all shadow of a doubt that if I can control everything and it looks like all hell, right? If it looks like complete hot garbage, whose fault is it? My fault. Yes, I want all of the blame. If it's terrible, I want all of the blame. I don't want the lurking thing in the back of my mind like, oh, if we just would have been there at 3 o'clock instead of noon, it would have looked way better. The answer is yes. In that situation, it might have very well looked better. Whose fault is it? Your fault, as in me. It's my fault. Why? I didn't tell the first AD. I didn't tell the producer. I didn't tell the director. I wasn't able to clearly communicate the idea that if we're there at 3 versus there at noon, there are going to be significant differences. So I would chalk that up as an L to me. I am trying to, every single job that I have ever been on, I am trying to reduce my ability to self-L. Right? I don't want to self-inflict a loss. All losses, I would say, are self-inflicted. And you're like, well, that's not really true. You know, sometimes you get in on a job with a director that's horrendous, and maybe you are trying to steer them into like images that, you think are technically better or creatively better. You know what the L is in that situation? The L is you agreed to do the job with a director. That's dog shit. Okay, that's your L. Okay, well, how do you get around that L? You don't agree to do that job. You find other directors who are better. You say, well, that's not easy. No, it's not easy. You know why? We just did a video on this a few videos back because it's really hard to make good stuff. If you find a director who's really good, guess what? Grab them. Like, be nice to them and do really good work for them and try and figure out, as this question is suggesting, where did we go wrong if we're there at a time where we have to sun sandwich? We went wrong, not on the day. We went wrong many, many days before that. Many jobs before that, because we weren't tracking the things that, wait a second, last time I did a job and we were there at the wrong time of day. How could I have bettered that? Oh, I know. I could do the job of the cinematographer. Now, if you're what would the word be? Like a videographer? Like if you're just paid to show up and you have to shoot and nobody gives you any ability to manipulate things in pre-production to make the images better, guess what? I would say that you're not a DP. I would say that you're something else. You're like accepting whatever the world is there. You're capturing images. I don't want to capture. I want to make. And if I am making and there is an aspect of the making that is not good, that falls on me. I have done things not good. So then I would go back and look at my notes from the job and go like, how could we fix that next time? And then next time you don't make that mistake. And what happens over a 10-year career? Guess what happens? I know. You can tell me what the production is. You can tell me the locations. I can already see a map of all the different A, B decisions. Like, should we be there at noon? Should we be there at 3? Should it be nighttime? Should it be daytime? Should we shoot anamorphic? Should we shoot spherical? Should we shoot open gate? Should we shoot 16:9? Should we go high ISO? Should we go low ISO? Should we not bring ND? Should we put diffusion, filtration? All of those questions. Should it be on the Steadicam? Should it be on a Ronin? Should it be on a Dolly? I know all of those things. I can see the pathways in my mind. So when you start talking, I eliminate all of those decisions that don't work. That's what you're paying for, right? That's the value, why you are useful to any project, is because I can eliminate all of that work that everyone else would have spent going, oh, I wonder if that'll work. Is that a good idea? It's like, no, I've zipped there through 10,000 different iterations that you could possibly go through in your mind. I've flicked through the Rolodex, or you have given me an image and say, hey, I kind of like this. Can we do that in this spot? It's like, yes. Well, how do we do that? I can just explain to you how we are going to do it. I'll tell you the exact tools that we need. I'll tell you what order we need to tell the people to put up the tools we need to make the thing work. I'll tell you what settings to put on the things to make the thing work. And then, ta-da, it just comes into life and comes into being when you get there on set on the day and you're like, ideally, you want everyone, the director, the producer, to be like, this is so easy. It's so stress-free. Like, it just happens to work and everything's on time like you said it would be. And I don't know, it just seems like it's such a smooth, seamless process. Yes. Why? Because I have removed all of the friction. My job, remove all of the friction so that the director or the producer, they can get whatever they want. Tell me what you want. I will get you what you want. If you don't get what you want, blame me. If you do get what you want, get me back for another job. And then we can make beautiful things together. And I don't care what it is. It could be Ben-Hur, or it could be, name some other fancy movie that you like. I don't know why I always go with Ben-Hur. Lawrence of Arabia, it could be that, or we could be selling dish soap, right? I'm easy. That part, not as important to me. I like overcoming the challenges of you give me the constraints, I figure out what the best way to work inside those constraints are. If there is a constraint that I didn't think of, like the question says, oh, the sun's in the wrong spot, I'll make that mistake once. And then the next time I go out, if I make it again, I'm going to be really angry with myself. And this is what really angry with myself, this is what really angry with myself looks like. On set, I would just be like this. And they'd say like, what do you think? Going good? And I'd be like, yeah, going good. Oh, looks great. Can't wait for the next one. See you on the next job. And then I'd quickly go into my car. Tears and sniffles and all that kind of stuff. Anyway. Okay, if you made it this far in the video, hey, this was just a cover. What this video is really about is that more and more people are leaving messages about AI and cinematography on all of the YouTube comments. Guess what? Your job's going away. Cinematography's dead. We're all screwed. Quickly get out while you can, because we're never going to make anything ever again. It's all over. Hopefully that doesn't scare you, because they're always watching. Okay, bye.